Oh, hey, boss.
Oh, hello.
I can't come into work today.
Oh, what's wrong? I hope it's nothing serious.
I'm just a little guy.
Sorry?
I'm just a little guy. I got just a little guitis.
Is it serious?
Just a little guy. Can't do work now. I'm just a little guy.
I mean, I
I could be all tucked up somewhere, looking all cute and adorable, just like a little guy.
you do raise a valid point.
Just a
You
little
are just a
guy.
little guy.
You're just a little guy.
Fine.
Okay, bye. Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnet Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet Dale, and welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers. It's a podcast where two queer trans women, that's us, we're wifey types, tell you about all sorts of stuff we've done media consumption-wise in the week, and do silly voices and skits, and be sleepy little beans.
You're just a little guy.
Yeah, there's a little guy, how you doing?
I'm alright. I'm very glad we've got most of the, well, seemingly I think the Summer Showcase week game adverts.
Game advert season is done.
now.
I, as of today, am returning back to normal routine. Just about. I'm just a sleepy little one.
Sleepy little bean who needs a little nap.
I do. It's been a long week.
Well, should we get on and talk about something we've played then?
Sure. I've not got many things I've played this week. I'll say that up front. I've mainly been watching trailers for games and not playing things.
You played like 20 minutes of a couple of demos, but not really enough to get a solid inkling on anything.
Yeah. I downloaded a bunch of demos. The main ones I've had a chance to play are the ones for games that were in the Accessibility Summer Showcase this year. Woo!
Which is now up as VODs with baked-in subtitles.
Yeah,
or
American subtitles.
ASL or BSL.
Yeah, or audio descriptions.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go through every single one of those games. You can go watch the showcase. But a couple of demos that I particularly had a good time with and that I am awake enough to remember my experience with. Slime Heroes. I'm really enjoying that we are in the year of Little Wet Friend doing an accessible Souls-style game.
Yeah.
We had Another Crab's Treasure with the Little Crab. Now we've got Slime Heroes, in which you are just a little slime with a sword made out of slime, running around hitting stuff with your little slime sword.
I thought it was you turning yourself into a sword.
So that was my assumption at first until I played the demo, and then it's like, oh no, I found a slime sword. Separate
convenient.
from myself, it would seem. But yeah, it's a cute little sort of top-downy Souls kind of game. There's a bunch of cool accessibility stuff, like being able to turn on hitboxes for enemies and attacks and things. And
Which feels like it would be fairly easy to do, because I imagine that's something that devs use all the time.
Exactly, and you can put like a little outline around your character to make them easier to see, which I appreciate, and that's all good. I played the demo for a game called Dawnfolk, which is a little sort of community building game on a little top-down pixel art grid. Where when you want to do things on squares like, harvesting materials, chopping down trees or whatever, and these can be turned off if you find them difficult to do, but you can do little timing mini-games to get some bonus resources. So like, I'm chopping down the trees, I'll press a button when the axe is over the tree as the axe is bouncing back and forth, and then I might get some extra wood from that square when I do it. And
The menus in that are adorable.
they're very satisfying. Like, the nested menus are very, very satisfying. I've been playing some of the demo for Trash Goblin,
Yes.
a game that is essentially a little bit like 3D Picross almost. You are sort of like chipping away at these 3D objects to reveal the shape inside by chipping away the sort of dirt and grime bits off them, and then you sell all these little artifacts to
You can clean them additionally first.
Indeed, you can,
Give a
and
little
then
soapy sponge.
you go like, oh, you've come here looking for a little trinket. Little lizard friend, let me see what I've got in my bag of little trinkets I've been cleaning and scrubbing and chiseling. Trinkets. Like a good trinket. They're a magical delicacy. That is a game about being a little witch that makes magical food, and also I'm getting good gay vibes.
I was gonna say it looks like good queer
Yeah.
game.
What if you were doing magic, but also you were making food in a cauldron as if it was a magic spell, and maybe going out to get ingredients for it? And in some ways reminds me of something like Battle Chef Brigade, which is a game I really, really loved, where I'm like, heck yeah, give me more of that.
Yeah.
And I played other demos, but I'm going to be honest, my brain is turning to mush. I've seen too many video games, and therefore every video game is a single video game in my head now.
That's what Fortnite. So you know about Fortnite?
Yeah, I'm aware of.
Squished all of the games together, and now you have
video
Fortnite.
games together, and now I have Fortnite for brains.
No.
But you actually played some things that you have more concrete thoughts about this week.
I played all the way through 2 games.
Yeah, tell us about those 2 games.
So the first one was called Lost in Play.
Oh, I know this one.
Which is it's an adorable game. It's got a very lovely cartoony art style that occasionally reminds me of Hilda and occasionally reminded me of Costume Quest. I think it's the big slightly cat's eyes shaped eyes on all the characters, on a lot of the characters. It's adorable and goofy and whimsical and kind of surreal. You play as a couple of siblings, and they are having a little imaginary adventure, or maybe there's more to it. Who can say? And you go on a little quest, and it can be something as simple as solving little puzzles to find teacups so you can have a tea party with just a bizarre range of characters. There's a lot of fun little puzzle solving. It's got an inbuilt hint system, and yeah, I appreciated that I didn't need that very often. But the couple of times that I was like, no, I have wandered up and down the couple of screens that I have available to me here, and I cannot work out for the life of me what it is. And I feel like I should already have that information given how little space, because you do get nicely locked into. Here is the next place. This is the next area. Solve the puzzles here. Find whatever you need to find here. Interact with characters or animals. Feed sheep the pink stuff that makes them jet-powered or possibly fart-powered. Who knows? Play a bidding game against goblins. Collect rubber ducks from around a couple of scenes in order to buy passage upon a stalk with a goblin. It's adorable and silly and very sweet.
It is.
And yeah, I think I got through it in something like 3 hours. Initially, I was a bit like, why is there no subtitles in this game? And then I played it with sound on the next day and realised that although they do a lot of like talking at each other occasionally, all the information is conveyed during the conversations or after the conversations with like a thought bubble above their head, if there is something that is required to give to a particular character, and they're just sort of making nonsense noises at each other. Yes, I didn't realise that at first because I didn't have the sound.
Easily done.
But yeah, it was adorable. It's got such a beautifully consistent art style that I was sat there just like not doing anything on the first screen because I hadn't realised that the cutscene had ended and now it was me to do playing. But yeah, I got through that. That was the lightweight, happy, joyful game I played. And then I played Inmost.
Yeah, this sounded like...
A lot.
You described this to me this morning, and my only question was, are the people who made this game okay?
Maybe this game was their therapy.
Cool, yeah, tell everyone about whatever the hell this is.
So there's a number of different characters and perspectives, and... You, like one of the characters is an old man who's wandering around with a cane, and you're sort of being fed a story via text as you walk down the stairs. And that's like the old man's entire first scene. He walks downstairs, it takes him a long time, and he has many thoughts on the way down the stairs. There is a dog that briefly follows you. It's all good. There's a whole other story with a little girl who is initially playing out in the garden, and then she goes into the house, and you can like wander around and open cupboards and look at stuff. And then there is like a whole other scene with this knight character who is slaying these shadow demons and seemingly working for some big bad evil shadow creature that is collecting pain and suffering, which you gather by attacking the shadow creatures. There's a whole thing about soul flowers. Without being too spoilery, there is a lot going on in these various layers that gets... There is a lot of trauma involved inside the areas of shadow creatures and outside of that. Mainly around the old man with the beard who is having a little Metroidvania adventure. And mostly just trying not to die while weird black slime leaps out of walls.
Yeah.
And a little girl who finds a stuffed bunny rabbit and eventually becomes convinced that maybe her parents abduct children. And also, like, her parents don't get on. Mum is tetchy and scary, so don't be too near Mum. And Dad is working all the time. And the definition of work is, yeah, you leave the house and you push your car to work, and then you come home tired and angry. That's how work is.
Yeah.
But there is a lot going on, and it all does sort of tie together eventually. But and it's beautifully animated. Something about the art style kind of reminds me of if Braid was even more grimdark. And certainly, what if they did Dark Souls in Braid pixel art?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating story. And again, managed to get through it in about 3 hours. You did not get all of the possible achievements or ending stuff in it, but my goodness, there is a lot to be discovered, lots of hidden secrets. But yeah, that's the games I played. Have you played anything else?
I don't think so. If I have, it's already escaped my overly video gamed brain.
Many games in your brain.
This week it's always like this. The week of pour like 20 hours of video game, like in 30-second chunks into my brain.
Yeah.
It's too many video games.
Too many video
no
games.
No human is designed for this many video games.
That is true. You're too powerful.
I've got to boil it down into like a reduction. I've got to simmer it down. Have just a video gamey paste.
Video game pate.
It's been too many video games now. I haven't played any other games this week,
then.
really.
Well then.
Time for this.
You know, like, the French, yeah.
I'm aware of them. Yeah.
You know, I think they're gonna like shit in the river.
Oh yeah, because
You know,
the politician said the river's clean.
Yeah.
So he's gonna swim in the river.
He's gonna swim in the river.
And they're like, it'd be funny to shit in the river.
Yeah, because fuck him.
Yeah.
Right? And well, that's it. That's public action right there. We in Britain obviously had to privatise shitting in the river, but I was thinking, yeah. What if we could like do our own version of that to get back at the Tories, the right wing Labour, and and the Reform Party and that lot, yeah. What if we did like piss into Parliament or something? Down a chimney or something.
Yeah.
Just get everyone together and just do like big piss down the chimney and so.
Exactly. Well, I mean, look, if anyone tries to stop us all entering the piss in Parliament, just start walking towards Parliament, pissing. No one's going to stop you entering if they don't want to touch the piss.
Yeah, like we'll do like all bow-leggy.
If we do like first wave is the people who were pissing on the way in to be like the vanguard. And then, like, the other people hold their piss in until we're inside, and then they piss in Parliament.
Oh, nice. We'll ride that wave. Yeah.
As it were.
Straight into Parliament and, give them what for. I think it's going to work,
I mean, they have been taking the piss for a long time, yeah.
Yeah. And we will take the piss back.
We won't, we'll leave it there.
Power to the pissers!
I've got the greatest and best Kickstarter going. I was fully funded in no less than 45 seconds.
Well, yeah, that's just because you set the goal way too low. You set it at like a penny, so that you would get done faster.
No. I set it at £1,000, and then, I had my mum put £1,000 in. Right.
Well-
I was like, Mum, I'm hitting send now, do the thing. And it took her, a little while to get all her details in. I did tell her it's pretty safe, but she didn't manage to do it. But I got my thing in. Anyway, what makes your Kickstarter so bloody good?
Well. I got the most minis.
Oh, the most minis, have you?
Yeah, most minis.
Yeah. How many minis have you got?
I got 984 minis in the base set.
Well, we got 1,000 minis and expansions.
Okay, well, let me scrounge around in the back here. We got 1,300 minis, we've decided. We're adding more.
Well, we're adding even more. We've got 12,000 minis, and one of them is 6 inches tall.
Well, we've got a mini, we've got the biggest and the smallest mini. We've got one that's 6 feet tall, and one that's no larger than a grain of sand.
Well, we, as I said, we've got expansions, right? We've got expansions. We've got so many expansions. No one's played this game, and they're going to buy all of the expansions. And so many all-in people want to buy all-in. They don't care that they've never played this game. They don't care that we've never made a game before. They're going to buy the whole Kickstarter, the whole thing. We've got 5 expansions.
Well, we got the best stretch goal, the most elaborate, high-priced stretch goal anyone's ever done. For £3 trillion, we will nuke a small country for you.
Well, for $8 quadrillion Canadian, we will buy the entire IKEA brand and the country of Sweden and throw that all in, because you will need that many galaxies to keep all of the expansions to our game in, and all of the minis.
Well, my game will have all the rules printed correctly on the first edition.
Oh, fuck off. So, what have you put in your eyes?
Video game trailers.
Yeah?
I put video game trailers in my eyes.
Did any of them wow you particularly?
There are good ones, and I've got to. I'm gonna dig into my brain without a list written down and see what things bubble to the surface. The best pun name for a game I saw was a game that is a sort of side-scrolling dungeon crawler, but you get items that sort of power your character up by using like a claw machine.
Yes.
One of those like little crane games, and it's called Dungeon Clawler. And I think that name is great. You play an adorable little fuzzy friend. The art style is very good, but the pun is the thing that I remember that well enough to go, yeah. There was a pretty cool looking one called Arranger, where it is a top-down view of a character that's on a sort of grid-based world, and anytime you move the character, the world will move with you in that direction on that axis.
Yeah, the line sort of wraps around. So if a pebble out ahead of you.
Yeah, so if you move to the right, everything on your row will move to the one square to the right. If you move up, everything on your column will move up, and you're sort of rearranging things in the world to sort of explore and do your little puzzle solving.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. They showed off a new Doom game. It's set in the Dark Ages, and there's demons, but also you've got a shield that is a chainsaw, and there was a gun that you load skulls into, and it grinds the skulls up into little bits that are then your bullets.
Uh-huh.
And then you ride a dragon, and then you get in a big, like, 6-story tall mech.
Okay, so is this trying to capture the whole concept of the Doomslayer has existed throughout time?
Yeah, it seems to be implying, like, oh yeah, no, all throughout history the Doomslayer was just a force of nature that existed.
That stands between hell and humanity.
Yeah. It looks like more Doom, but also that's like not a bad thing.
Maybe dipping a little bit into the, like, heretic Hexen type stuff.
Yeah. They showed off a new Lego game based around the Horizon games, like Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West.
Yes. When you first was going Lego Horizon, I was like, oh, it's going to be like another Forza Horizon. There's going to be more Lego tracks.
No,
but
it's little
Aloy.
minifig Aloy running around with like Lego dinosaur robots and things.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because they have recently released a whole series of Horizon creatures as Lego sets.
That indeed makes sense. That one is coming to PC as well, and Switch as well as PlayStation. There were... Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind is a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers pixel art...
Brawler.
Side-scrolling brawler, kind of like the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, with co-op.
Nice.
But it's also got, like, Mode 7 segments, where you're, like, behind the Megazord perspective, like, almost first-person Megazord stuff, and doing a bunch of pseudo 3D Mode 7 kind of graphics things that look really fun.
Cool.
So that looks neat. Monster Hunter Wilds... It looks like Monster Hunter, but pretty graphics. That's sort of what I expected, but the main takeaway I had was that they kept the best feature from the last Monster Hunter on Switch, which was you can ride the dog, so you can sort of like very quickly get back to where you're going, speed up your traversal around the world, which was a very needed mechanic. Screenbound, super interesting little game.
Yes.
It is a 3D platformer where you're holding a Game Boy that is showing a 2D platformer perspective of the same world you are in.
Yes.
And you are having to both use the 3D perspective and 2D perspective to see the things you need to see to navigate this world.
Yes, it's fascinating. I've stuck it on my wish list because I am genuinely curious to see where that goes.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like... What was the one with the photos that we played through? Viewfinder. It's one of those ones where you see, like, the little gif of the idea and you're like, oh no, I entirely understand. You have a very original idea there.
Yeah.
That I will try when it is available.
I feel like it's going to be a bit of a brainbuster, but I guess we'll see in person.
Oh, indeed. Speaking, as we were earlier, of just a little guy, thank goodness you're here.
Yes, Matt Berry is just a little guy.
I don't think Matt Berry is the little guy. I think he is the gardener commenting on the little guy.
I see.
This is from the Untitled Goose Game developers, and it is a very British-seeming game about just being a little guy, running around, causing like maybe some nonsense, but maybe like helping people out in this slightly...
slapping butts.
Yeah, running around slapping butts, being helpful, being a nuisance, just being a little guy. Just being a little guy. Matt Berry does voices. Lots of cool people do voices in it, but Matt Berry does voices in it as well.
And it's being released on Yorkshire Day, apparently, the 1st of August.
I did not know 1st of August was Yorkshire Day.
That was on the trailer.
I apologise for not registering that. A lot of video games went into my head.
It's that weird little moment at the end of the trailer of, what are you wearing? Green dungarees and a flat cap. You're never going to believe this.
There are probably other things, and I will probably say other things in a minute, but did you put anything in your eyes that you want to talk about while I find other things that I saw?
I want to mention Petal Runner.
Oh, yes!
This is, or the art at least, is done by Brandon James Greer, who we've talked about on here before, who is a YouTuber who does like a lot of pixel art stuff.
We both very much enjoy his pixel art, arty YouTube content.
We've talked about that channel on here a few times before, and yeah, apparently some of those adorable little art things we've been seeing secretly have been working on a game.
Yeah,
and you are it's almost like a Game Boy Color Pokemon graphics. That sort of style. You are a bike courier riding virtual pets around to people, and you are basically taking these pets in sort of canisters, plugging them into people's home, and then a virtual pet will exist in their home.
yeah,
And it seems like it's going to be pretty adorable, and I am excited to see how that continues to develop. One of the other ones I saw, not during the game show, but I suspect that it was on there, is Starbirds, which is the new game from the Dorfromantic people.
Oh, yes.
Which is about little space burbs who are going to try and do... you've just scrolled past it yourself. They're going into space and doing a sort of Factorio-style get resources, mine resources, maybe do a little bit of connecting things together and making very small, like not the super intense stuff that you would get in something like Factorio or Satisfactory, more like
just cute little basic plug these things together and sort of automate extraction of a certain resource from different planetoids, and they're all different shapes and sizes, and it looks like it's going to be really sweet and really fun, and I'm excited to see more stuff from the Dorfromantic people.
Yeah.
Did you find any others?
Yeah, there's one that I got to play some of back at Gamescom last year, and they had a new trailer and has a release date now, Star Trucker. It's Euro Truck Sim, but you're in space.
Excellent.
So it's Euro Truck Sim if you had to think about one additional axis and different physics, because you are a very heavy object that will not slow itself down easily without the friction of wheels against road.
Oh dear.
So it's Euro Truck Sim in space with the physics changes that would create. I like the game a lot. I like what I played of it. Also, Crescent County appears to be queer lesbian witches in a colourful pastel world doing broomstick street racing. And it looks very colourful, looks fast-paced and gay, and very good.
Yeah.
I'm very into that one. Yeah, there was a lot of good video games. There's one that I've got a demo downloaded for that I'm very interested to check out, called Brazil 1921. That is a almost claymation-looking game about being a photojournalist at a time of political unrest around the time of revolution, trying to sort of document these events as they're unfolding. That seems super interesting, and one of those games that I suspect will end up being a bit of a big deal. It seems like a real interesting one.
Yeah.
What about you? You seen any others?
That's pretty much it for me.
I probably did see others, but I have no brain left. That's ones I can remember.
Well, that's everything in your brain. Well then.
Time for this.
Hey Laura.
Yes?
We've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you enjoy like director's commentaries and stuff, hearing the insights of the people who made the thing that
I love
you love?
those. I've not. They sort of went out of vogue when like DVDs stopped being a thing, and like you used to be able to occasionally get them on video games, but not so much now. Like, yeah, I love a good director's commentary.
Well, what if not that?
How not that?
Well, everybody who is involved in that is stuck in a endless cycle of having to make the next thing.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So instead, there's just like the director's mates.
Okay.
They got invited, they got the +1 to the premiere.
Oh, so they've seen it, and they
were in the room when it was on. They were mainly there for the free nibbles and free champagne.
Okay, so this is a commentary track in which the people kind of maybe sort of half paid attention to what was going on and then recorded commentary.
Yeah. And, they might vaguely be vamping through some of the film, trying to work it out. I might even tell an interesting anecdote about the premiere, like the point at which they think it's a good time to go off and pee.
Oh, well. I mean, it's not a director's commentary, but in a world with a real dearth of director's commentary content, I guess this'll have to do.
So that's directorsmatescommentary.lol.net, enter the code Q&PS 310, and you too could hear someone who knows someone who maybe knows someone who was definitely involved in the lighting on this movie.
Apparently, the mini sausage rolls at the premiere were pretty good.
I love a sausage roll. Inside the boardroom of Supremacy Software.
Hi. So, I've been thinking of ways we can make money.
I love money.
I've been thinking of ways we can make money without having to spend that much money to then make more money.
They say it takes money to make money, but I'm always glad when I spend less and take more.
Exactly. So, I want to run something by you.
Right.
There's people who want video games to be more woke.
Yeah.
And there's people who actively want the opposite and want games to be less woke.
Yeah.
There's
and we love courting both markets.
Exactly. I would love for us to be able to court both markets. The ones that want more gay and the ones that want less gay. The ones that want more diversity, less diversity.
Yeah.
I want one video game to appeal to both.
Right.
And I think we can do that. You know those creature collecting RPG things?
Yeah, with the guns.
No, the other one, the one
right.
the one that comes in like different color variants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they sell
No
basically
guns,
no, but they do sell basically the same game with like a couple of minor tweaks as if it were two different games.
Yeah.
What if we did that? What if we released like I don't know, Call of Duty woke and Call of Duty not woke? As like, you know, both on the same day. If you want to experience the full game, you're gonna have to buy both Call of Duty woke and Call of Duty not woke to see all the content.
Yeah, if you're a filthy liberal, you could, get both and share your Call of Duty with each other.
Yeah, exactly. We make like, you know, a small handful of changes and then we market it to each being like, we have been listening to you. You want a changed amount of woke.
Yeah.
More or less, we've got your back.
I mean, it'll just be like all those template letters we have with like, what if people are offended by? Okay, well,
yeah, exactly. We look up, we buy your details online. We see whether you're likely to want woke or not woke. We mark it accordingly. Done.
You are a fucking genius.
I know.
So, what have you put in your ears?
Mostly video game soundtracks while doing like coming up with little bingo sheets for the various showcases. So I listened to the Celeste soundtrack, which I haven't listened to in a while. I listened to the Dragon Age Inquisition soundtrack. Good sort of just background fantasy tunes. I listened to, I'm trying to think what other ones there were that I popped on. Mass Effect soundtrack, that's just one I come back to regularly when I need background video gamey tunes.
Yeah.
It's been a very, what is background video game music I can talk over kind of week. What have you been listening to this week?
I have been listening to Doctor Who audiobooks.
You have?
Or audio dramas, I should say. So I re-listened to I, Davros, which I have probably talked about at some point long ago. It is a series that is based on the... How did Davros, creator of the Daleks, get to the stage where he was when we first meet him in, I think it was Genesis of the Daleks with Tom Baker many years ago? And it's... Basically, they took the TV show, which was probably way before your time, called I, Claudius, which is about Roman politics and politicking, and what if it was less sex than Rome, but basically like lots of politics and interpersonal and backstabbing and councillors and senators and all that other stuff that went on typically. And what if that, but it was the Daleks and, or I should say the Khaleds at that point. Yeah, it's a really fascinating story about the making of an absolute monster. And yeah, I enjoyed re-listening to that. It's been a good few years now since I last have done so. And I also listened through the first two Dark Eyes series. Dark Eyes series 1 is about a World War One vet. She's not a nurse, don't call her a nurse. Called Molly, who has always had surprisingly dark-coloured eyes for a human being. And it's sort of untangling why that is and what that involves and why she's constantly being followed around the universe and time by Daleks.
That's not ideal.
When she meets the Doctor. The second series is a little bit different. It's a little bit further in the future. It's got a particularly bizarre moment that I was playing to the other night.
You were. It was unexpected, to say the least.
Yes, I have never heard a Dalek say please, and I think more than anything, made me more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, that whole scene certainly came to some conclusions, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think
I look forward to hearing the rest of the Dark Eyes series. I'm about halfway through Dark Eyes 3. It seems to be taking a very different turn from where it started. Less about Dalek plots and so forth, and chasing Definitely Not a Nurse, Don't Call Her a Nurse through time, and more. There is just a couple of warring factions, and they are monumentally universe-shatteringly dangerous. And where will that go? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's everything I've listened to.
Well then, time for this. Right. I've been trying to work out how we can market our stuff better.
Oh, you have you?
Yeah, I've been trying to work out how to get people, people just ain't passionate about plumbing the way that
They're not
we need
passionate
them
about
to be.
plumbing, no.
They just don't, they only come to plumbing when, they need something.
Oh,
no
yeah.
preemptive excitement about plumbing.
Yeah. And we haven't even had that like gold rush like they did in America with all the bidets and stuff, have they?
Exactly. So I've been thinking.
Yeah.
And I looked at them video games that exist, and they've managed to make it so people tune in for like days and days and days of being advertised at.
That's true, and we know from video games that they love plumbing because there's always that thing with the pipes and the water.
Yeah. So I reckon if we like mimic what they did, it'll probably do the same results.
Yeah.
We put on like 4 days of like 5-6 hours each
Plum
day.
Fest.
Yeah, Plum Fest, where it's like tune in to find out what kind of new fasteners are there going to be for U-bends.
Yeah. Do you want are we U-bend, S-bends? Y bends.
Exactly.
There are so many letters left. We could come up with more bends.
Oh,
well, what's the latest push fit? What's gonna supersede push fit? Just
Exactly.
glare at the pipe and weld it back together.
Yeah, what's the new technology in drain cleaner that will clean your drain but not damage the pipe work?
Indeed. What is the latest micro capillary underfloor heating that isn't setting the concrete and is easy to fix if there's any problems with it, but also there's never problems with it because we're fucking good.
Exactly. And I was dubious at first that my idea was a good idea.
love
I wasn't.
yeah.
What a
job, yeah.
I wasn't convinced. I was like, I had the idea. I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? As long as we say world premiere before a few of them,
World premiere.
everyone will get real excited.
Push fit. Push it.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't know what that means, but it's a teaser trailer.
Oh, yeah, saucy teaser.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ain't no pipe work. Yeah. Do you really want to get a new tattoo?
Yeah.
Does your busy lifestyle mean you don't have time to get to the shop to get it at a convenient time?
Yeah.
Just mail in the body part you want inked and we'll ink it and keep it in perfect conditions until it's fully healed. But wait, there's more. We'll lend you a temporary body part so you're no more wonky than usual. While you wait to get your tat back, you'll be able to keep on swimming until your sexy new body part is ready for you. Mail in tattoos. Give 'em a try. Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warriors.
Yeah.
All right, Harry.
Right, Barry. How you doing?
Oh, doing my little best, mate. Keep going. You doing all right, mate?
Doing all right. Yeah. I've been a bit wound up seeing a thing that was happening recently. I saw that a couple of retail store chains in the US are starting to look into having body cams on workers in like supermarkets and whatnot.
Oh yeah, all supermarkets got body cams on the workers, isn't it?
Yeah, is that so?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that was going on.
Yeah. It's been around for a while.
It's the first I've been aware of it that's becoming a thing, and they're talking about like, it's to reduce wage theft. To reduce theft, not wage theft.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck about wage theft.
No,
It's encouraging wage theft.
Trying to stop people stealing from shops or whatever. And
it's not really helping people who are really struggling at the moment.
Well, because here's the thing. It's not going to stop someone who's like a career criminal from stealing because they're going to, take their time, make sure there's no one around with a body cam on before they do anything. They know that they're being on camera anyway.
Yeah.
The people,
it's not going to help people who, are, have some kind of problem where they, have certain compulsions for theft.
Well, yeah, because like the thing the people it's going to hurt most are the people who are, aren't used to stealing, who are stealing in a moment of desperation because, they need to feed their kid, or there's some essential that they just cannot afford but need to have. Those are going to be the kind of people that are going to get caught on body
Yeah,
cam.
because apparently putting like tags and plastic boxes around baby formula and chicken breasts and stuff like that. That's apparently not enough, and what we've got to get more on. And but they are advertising it though as it's to keep our staff safe. Certainly in the UK, anyway, they've been able to say, well, I'm here for your protection. This is for my protection. People sometimes get upset when we won't sell them alcohol or knives or whatever. And I have known people who worked in retail, and people can get quite aggressive when you won't sell them alcohol or knives. And
I've worked in a supermarket. I get that. But, if that's the case, you can solve that by having a camera at the tills, or the person at the till, rather than having one strapped to them the whole time that is constantly surveilling, people who are probably, if they steal, only stealing out of necessity, And also, most theft that happens in supermarkets is workers, which is a whole other problem, because, they should be paid enough they don't have to fucking steal stuff from where they work. But, even if that weren't the case, body cams ain't going to do fucking shit about that, because if you've got the body cam on you, you know where the camera is and where to hold stuff to not be on camera.
Yeah, and it's certainly not for protection of the public, because we all know that anyone with a body cam footage where a member of the public is in any way injured, all of a sudden all that body camera footage has disappeared, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And the idea that we're in a world where we're trying even harder to surveil on people at their lowest moments who just need some fucking help to criminalise them. It's fucking depressing.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, I have been quite appreciating the groups that are deliberately going into supermarkets and stealing just to take it down a food bank.
Yeah.
I have been enjoying that because it did lead to some politicians making absolute arses of themselves on television, trying to talk their way around why that's a terrible thing and a bad thing and that shouldn't be done. And I think they had a Met Police chief on one of these shows as well. And good on them. If the supermarkets won't do enough to make sure that people can afford food, or that anyone make sure that no one's going hungry. In a society, where we look after each other and make sure that everyone has, food and shelter and things like that. The essentials, water, clean drinking water, with less shit in it or piss or whatever. It's. I guess we can only do our best to try and make the world a better place and fight back against this bullshit wherever possible.
Exactly.
Fancy old mate.
Oh yeah.
Good hug, mate. Good hug.
Good hug.
Right, I think we'll go and have a little lie down.
Oh, sounds lovely.
Nice.
So, my EP Sleepy Little Beanbag.
Hi, EP Sleepy Little Beanbag.
Let's get you tucked off to bed. But first, before we do so, tell us where we can find you on the internet.
You can find me at Laura K. Buzz pretty much everywhere on the internet. I got that good unified branding. Laura K. Buzz on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon. That's the one that pays the bills. Blue Sky, Mastodon, all the things. You can find me at Laura K. Buzz. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head, but if toward the end of this month on a Thursday you have an interest in seeing me do a talk at a bookshop in London about trans stuff, I'll be doing a talk at the Waterstones in Piccadilly in London. It is toward the end of the month. If you search Laura Dale Waterstones trans, you'll probably find it and then find out the exact date, and that's the thing that's happening. What about you? Where are you on the internet?
Well, I don't have the unified branding, but I do have a link tree. It's linkter.ee/Janiac, Janiac. You can find all the things t-shirts I've designed, music I've made, things I've written, anything. I eventually add all of the links on there. You'll be able to find them, don't you worry. And you can help support me at patreon.com/stonedmonkeyradio. As little as $1 a month, super helps. And if not, a little share super helps. But that's everything from me. So Laura,
Yeah.
Will you sing us out, please, darling?
Until next time, be a stranger.